Hey guys, it's me, Chantel, and welcome back to my channel. Before we start this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video. So let's get right into it. This is signs that it's time to detox from social media. So this video is personal to me, and I know that some of the things that I've been experiencing, I'm pretty sure other people also have experienced, and these are some of the signs that's telling me like, all right girl, like it's time to get off the phone. It's time to get off social media. It's them phones. They weren't lying. All right, sign number one that it's time to get off social media or take a detox is mental brain fog, or just feeling like mental fatigue. Like you've just received a lot of information at one time and you just feel kind of overstimulated, or just your brain feels like you don't even know. As soon as you get on your phone, there's no telling what you're gonna see. Yes, your algorithm is tailored to you so that it keeps you on your phone longer. There's been plenty of times where I've gotten my phone and I've seen something really sad first thing in the morning. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, I did not want to get on my phone and see this. Like, I just woke up. Just receiving so much information just about what's going on in the world, what's going on in your friend circles or people you used to go to school with, comparison. It's just so much, just a lot of stuff that can overstimulate you, make you, happy is good, but just can make you sad, make you irritable, just everything at once. If you're feeling like you have a lot on your mind, you're overstimulated, but those things aren't actually happening in your real life, it's just from you being on your phone, then I'm like, okay, it's time to get off, because that's not even happening in my real life. Yes, I'm not necessarily talking about things that are happening in politics that can affect you eventually, or that will affect you when the time comes. That's different. A lot of other things that may not be personally happening to you, you're kind of taking on, especially if you're like more of an empath, that stuff can affect you. So if you're feeling mentally foggy or overstimulated and a lot of those things aren't even happening in your real life, that's how you know it's like, girl, it's them phones. Sign number two, lack of vocabulary / speaking in internet. I find myself saying a lot of sounds that I hear on TikTok or saying memes. Now, I do think that it's funny. Like, I know what's going on. And when you meet somebody who also knows what you're talking about, and you don't really have to say too much, they just know based on the inflections of your voice what you're talking about. It's fun. But when you find yourself doing it over and over and over again, even in situations where those people may not know what you're talking about, or you really can't think of anything else to say other than what you've been seeing online, it's kind of a problem. Although I'm kind of like so about it, I do feel like the more I'm online, I'm not reading, I'm not training my brain to like do other things, activities, just kind of being on my phone, it does kind of put me behind, because I'm the type of person who likes to expand my vocabulary. I like to be able to continue to like write and do things that don't have to do with social media trends. And I want to have a healthy brain. Like, I want to have my memory as I get older. I don't want to fry my brain, because it's important and I love myself and I want to continue to be smart. I'm not talking about AAVE cosplay, because that's really not the same thing, because those things have been around for generations. They're gonna be around. A lot of those things have kind of intertwined themselves with the internet, and so everyone thinks that these things are just from the internet, but they actually have like a cultural meaning, like the vernacular of certain people. Yes, when you find yourself heavily doing that, probably time for a detox. Number three, doom scrolling to no avail, or opening and closing the same apps over and over again. Last week I did that and I was like, okay, something's going on in my brain. Like, I need a constant dopamine hit. We can't have this. You're gonna have to do something. And that brings me into my next sign. Being on your phone takes the joy out of everyday hobbies, and it makes you, like, I've seen a lot of my will to live is low. They're not talking about, but they're just saying you see so much, the mundane task of doing regular things just don't seem enjoyable. I do feel like it's these phones. You have everything at your disposal. You can see everything you want, and it kind of takes the fun out of actually doing it. Next sign is you feel physically unwell when you don't have your phone in your possession. Like, if you can't access your phone, or you have to be on your phone all day, like an 8-hour, 9-hour work day, you feel physically unwell, or like super boredom to the point where you don't know what to do with yourself. You're like itching, kind of like you come off of a drug, like a withdrawal period, where you just feel so uncomfortable. It's like getting on the phone will help relieve that feeling. I feel like when you get to that point, this piece of technology is making me feel like an addict, you know? So it's time to get off if you're feeling like that. Number 6 is consuming harmful content. So what I've noticed, unfortunately, is that although I love certain creators that I watch, just my timeline is curated to things that, you know, you watch and you stay on for a certain amount of time. So then the algorithm pushes those type of videos to you. I've noticed that a lot of it is one-sided opinions. It may not actually be truth. And I'm a comment reader too. I'm a comment reader sometimes before I even watch the video, and I'm kind of being influenced by people's comments. It may not be true. They say it in a way that's super convincing that it's like, oh wow, that's that, like, dang, that happened. And now you have taken someone else's opinion and kind of formed it as your own. And I see that with a lot of people, even in real life. Again, if you're chronically online and you watch specific creators and you block everybody else because you don't want to see their content, and you only have one side of perspectives on your timeline, it's like who you are is also like who they are. Like, you're taking from them and kind of really just regurgitating what they're saying without really fact checking because you trust them. And it can become very distorted. So like the documentary I watched, I cannot remember the name, it's on Netflix, basically is saying like there's gonna come a time where people are gonna see what they want to see, and that is going to be their opinion. They're not fact checking anything. They don't know what's true and what's fake. They're just kind of taking things at face value because they trust these creators and these people, and they're not forming their own opinion, or they're scared to have a conversation based on like how you might feel versus how they feel about something. And so the more you intake just things that aren't necessarily true, and you do no type of cognitive autonomy on your own, like just thinking on your own, it's just going to get distorted, and then you're going to spread false information, especially if you're a creator too, and they trust you. It just kind of gets very like messy and ugly. And even in myself, I was just like, damn, am I taking on other people's mindsets and not having my own opinion for real? And then of course we know about like red pill content and how a lot of those red pill content creators, the men, are very misogynistic, and then young boys get into that and men get into that because they're looking for help, self-help things online and stuff. And then they start adding in like rhetoric about women and how women are the problem, and they start slipping stuff like that in there, and they just get really influenced, and you go down a rabbit hole and it just gets really bad. And that stuff leads into real life, and that's where the issue comes. Last point is the internet is not real. Being on the internet and then going to work like a real job in real life with people who are my age, people who are older, a lot of these takes people do not really believe. They don't really act like that in real life, nor do they say or stand on business like people do online or act like they do online. I hope I'm making sense. These things are curated to keep your attention. People aren't really living these lives. You can't really prove it, disprove it, or prove it that they are who they say they are, or they live exactly how they say they live. You just kind of take it as face value. And a lot of it is not real. A lot of the topics, the hot topics about like men and women or politics and stuff, people say, oh, if my friend voted for so-and-so, I wouldn't be their friend. Unfortunately, it's not true. Like, I see it play out in real time. No one did anything. From what I've seen online versus in real life, it's not the same. Again, we all know people will act like they have all this money and they are renting cars or they're renting places and acting like it's theirs, and you just don't know what's real and what's fake. I think that's one of the main, well, really all of these signs are good, but just knowing that this is not a real thing should help you be like, you know what, I'm not missing out on anything. How about I get my real life to a place where I love, and a place where I can enjoy and feel comfortable and live that way. This online stuff is not actuality, and I don't have to be on here hella. I can like detox and take my time. There are other signs and other things where you might say, well, I need to get off social media, like comparing yourself all the time and looking at what other people have at a certain age. Those are signs that you need to get off, because you're going to develop low self-esteem. And if you already have it, it's just going to make it worse. That is it. I need you guys to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment if you are experiencing any of these signs. I want to hear from you. Buki. Have a great day.